Hi, my name is Goldman. I'm the director and founder of Goldman and Associates. Our firm has a primary focus on family law. Please subscribe to our channel. What happens if you move out of state? You got a great home, you got a great life there, you got a great job, and the kids are now going from Michigan part-time with mom, and they're going out of state part-time with dad and his great home and his great job. Does the fact that you moved out of state, you have that home, you have that job, how does that impact the custody? Can the kids stay with you? Well, if you want to have the kids stay with you, what kind of discussion is that? It's a custody discussion. That means it's a custody analysis. So number one, we have to discuss who had the custody. What's the status of the custody right now? Is it joint custody? If it's a joint situation and then you pick up and move and you expect the kids to go with you, you're going to have to file motions and ask the court that you should be permitted to change the legal residence of those children. And the court's not going to do that willy-nilly. The court is only going to do that if it's satisfied that it's in the best interest of the children to make the move. And to do that, it's not a question of the court, granting a motion that you file from some form where you check boxes off. Those motions, when we file them here at the firm, those are an inch thick because they cross-reference the home environment with the new environment. They cross-reference the old school with the new school. They look at crime studies. What's the difference between the safety of the neighborhood? Socioeconomic analysis, job opportunities. Where does family live in relationship to where they are now versus what kind of family life will they have when they're out there? What's the physical plant of the house like? Are you taking kids from a 4-bedroom environment, moving them into a 2-bedroom? Can you do that? Sometimes in big cities, they're very expensive, and you go to California, you spend $1 million in a house, you get one the size of a garage. I mean, everything is different depending on where you are. The court has to take all of this into account. So if your idea and your concept is, I'm going to move out of state because I'll have a more stable home, and therefore I want the kids to come with me, you're going to have to convince the court that it's in their best interest to do it. Your notions of stability in the new environment may not be consistent with what the court says. And even if the court acknowledges that, yeah, it's probably a little better there, the court has to take other things into account, like the fact that the kids have been going to the same school for 5 years. So you may have a more stable environment. Maybe the crime rate is a little bit lower, but these kids are going to have to start all over again. And their best friends are there. And, one of them is going into high school, and he wants to go with his buddies. There's all sorts of things the court takes into account. If you want to do this right, and you want to pick up and leave, and you want your kids to go with you, the proper way to do it is to file in advance an appropriate motion to change the legal residence. Have that hearing, go through that, show the court why it makes sense, and then perhaps the court will grant that request. I say perhaps because it's a grace. The court doesn't have to grant that request. It's completely up to the judge. And what the judge, the thing that the judge has to grapple with is if he allows you to move from Michigan to New York City, there's somebody whose visitation is going to be severely interrupted by that move. The one who's getting the kids on Wednesday night, alternating weekends, alternating holidays, Father, Mother's Day, all this stuff, all of a sudden he's not going to have it like that anymore. He won't have the day-to-day relationship. And if that court is going to take away a day-to-day relationship from one of the parents, it's going to need a damn good reason to do so. So as you approach the court, you need to keep in mind that's what their thinking is. So in light of that, obviously your proofs are going to have to be very substantial. If you have any questions about that, reach out, and of course, we'll be glad to help you out.